something like that. We're messing around with little nuances from an Otis Rush thing that he recorded back in the 60s. There was a record that came out called Chicago Blues Today, Volume 2, which was a compilation. And there's some James Cotton stuff on there and Otis Rush Blues Band and is it Sunnyland Slim that's on there? Somebody else. I'm sorry, I'm spacing on that. But this is, he does a little song called Everything's Gonna Be All Right, and it has this little rhythm pattern, which we discussed in a former video, another video that you can see on here. But this is just a little like kind of C major pentatonic-y. But his vibrato, he's got a wider vibrato, and it's kind of like his vocal vibrato. It's like, hey! He's got this kind of thing that he does with his voice, and he does the same thing with him. And so what I'm doing here with my first finger, I just kind of float it, and I'm using the tip of my finger, and I'm going up first, meaning towards me, to add the vibrato. And when I do that vibrato, it's kind of like when I do the Clapton vibrato, the fingertip becomes more perpendicular to the string. And I'm kind of going like this. It's an elbow thing, actually. Okay, so I'm kind of going like this. Like, hey, what you talking about? I don't know what I just did there, but what? Anyway, so it's kind of an elbowish thing. Now, when I do it on the D string to get that kind of I'm using the tip of my third finger, and I'm actually going down first with the vibrato. I'm trying to make that sweep a little, as opposed to going, if I'm doing more of a tighter vibrato, I do a different thing. But when I'm doing this vibrato and I want it to be a little wider, like when I do a Billy Gibbons vibrato or this Otis Rush vibrato, I go down first and I kind of grind that string into there, and it's a wrist thing. There's a little bit of elbow as well, but it's mostly a wrist thing. So for this one, and it's kind of tight, I'm kind of gripping with my thumb here, and it's also I'm getting contact with the neck with this part of the fat of my index finger, and I'm grinding that D string into the fretboard as I go down first and back and forth. And he does this thing where he goes, to get that kind of Otis Rushy. I'm taking that string. I kind of sounds like an explosion to me, like, coo, wow, a blooming note of doom, a mushroom cloud of tone. And I mean that in a benevolent fashion, of course. And for that, again, I'm using the tip of my third finger, and I'm using my my thumb for support. And once I get the pitch up, I'm bending up a whole step. Then I start adding the wider vibrato. So that whole first kind of part that I'm paraphrasing, but. No. And then again, when I get to the G string here, kind of making that wider vibrato, but again, when I get to the G string, it's going down first. And again, I'm gripping the neck pretty good here, and I've got the contact points here being the pad of my thumb and this part of my index finger. And I'm kind of grinding it using going like this actually, kind of with my palm, or with my wrist. That doesn't look right. I'm gonna stop that right now, but you get the idea. It's weird, all these different vibrato things, I kind of take the movements for granted until I have to explain them, and I'm like, kind of a lot going on. But these are the kind of things that you work on to get those different vibratos right, which is what has attracted me to play electric guitar the most. And as I get older and I realize the stuff I like listening to the most, I like playing the most, when I hear back myself playing some stuff, to me, it's not the faster stuff, but it's this vibrato, nuancy stuff to me that speaks the most. to me. I'm not saying, I'm just saying for me, that's what I dig. So as I'm explaining it here, I'm realizing all the different things that come to it are fairly nuanced, but it's all kinds of different movements. Like, for instance, when I go, when I'm doing that little Otis Rushy thing, like from that part of that song, I'm taking the B string there. So that, to get that vibrato, what I'm doing, a lot of times I'm on the B string vibrato, I'll do that vibrato, but this one, to get kind of a wider thing, I'm grabbing the B string, again, my fingers become a little bit more perpendicular, and I'm going up and down. A lot of these things will be on this, I got a blues book again that I got a bunch of stuff out with Hal Leonard. So if you're interested in any of my instructional stuff that's a little bit longer, more in depth, you can go to my website at gregkoch.com. You can go to guitarinstructor.com, which is a Hal Leonard fueled thing that has a lot of my digital downloads available. Or any of your Hal Leonard retailers can help you out with it. But I got a book coming called Brave New Blues, which I go through a bunch of different blues guitarists and their nuanced styles, and then I kind of explain this stuff a little bit more in depth. But anyway, this is your little Otis Rush tutorial. And again, if you want to hear the tune, it's on a record called Chicago Blues Today, Volume 2, Otis Rush Blues Band doing Everything's Gonna Be All Right. These are some nuances that are in there. It's not verbatim, but you know, that little rhythm pattern, and then the... something in that neck of the woods. There you go, folks. I hope that helps in your quest for tone savagery. Greg Koch here in the Wildwood Ancillary Lair. Rocking out. Later, cats.